Number 4, Buck Randall with the Raiders touchdown, and the extra point is good. Makes our score Raiders 8, Raptors 0 with 7:41 remaining in the first quarter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Highlander Stadium. This is Raider football presented by Game On Sports. Will Washington here with Mikey Lamar bringing you the last game of the season. We had some technical difficulties, but we are now good to go. And Mikey, you blinked right there. You missed an unbelievable touchdown run from Buck Randall.
Yeah, I think we just missed one of the best scrambles I've ever seen. I mean, that was unbelievable. Looked like they were trying to set up a wheel route. And the blitz got there a little early. And Buck just took off and made an incredible play. Took it to the house.
That kick goes right across the 20 as that Raptor goes down. And Mikey, from up here in the press box, you really have just a heck of a view. And you could see Buck Randall looks like he kind of accidentally went right into the blitz and he evaded it. And then there was just like this turbo button he hit. Went right through the middle, and you saw the Jets. And so when you have a quarterback in 8th grade that has the arm talent that Buck Randall has, which we talk about, but when you can turn on the Jets like that, that's just an unbelievable weapon.
You know it is. And Buck wears number 4, but the square root of 4 is 2. And you know who wore number 2? That's right. Johnny Manziel wore it, and that was a Johnny Manziel-esque play right there. That was unbelievable.
And yeah, Buck definitely following him on the field. We hope not off the field as that handoff doesn't go for much. This Raiders defense just picking up where they left off really all season long. And Mikey, we've been saying it, this defensive line really the key to the Raiders defense. When we've been here calling these home games, the D-line's really been setting the tone here.
Yep, and led by Cole Johnson, that D-line just creates havoc. Just getting in run lanes, messing up pass plays. They've done great all season.
Yeah, Charlie Davenport there at the left defensive end tonight. We're going to try to get you all the starters as we get going right here. This brings up a second down and 10. This quarterback rolls out under pressure, can't get the throw off. That's great pressure there from Charlie Davenport, the left end. And one of the things you really see about this team is just the depth that they have at the defensive line. They're able to sub guys in and out. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. And this is where you do not want to be if you are an opposing offense. Trevor, should we turn the light on?
Yeah, and in these 3rd and longs, I mean, the D linemen and, you know, they love to send blitz in these, and they can just pin their ears back and get after the quarterback, and that's never a good recipe for an opposing team against this Raider defense.
3rd and 10. Raiders look to get after the passer right here. We do not have a roster for the Raiders, Mikey. or the Raptors rather. So we're going to do the best we possibly can. Going to hear a lot of numbers tonight in the white jerseys. As Raiders under pressure, a huge hit. Absolutely devastating hit there by number 38. He's not on our roster for the Raiders, but I can tell you he's a heck of a player.
I mean, we might as well just call him Aaron Donald after that. I mean, he was in there like a flash. Looked like he forced a fumble. They called him down by contact. We'll give the ref the benefit of the doubt. I don't know. But what a play. And right on cue from the D-line right there.
The number 38 deserves to have his name called. It is not showing up in our gold team roster here, but he is definitely on the score sheet. That ball is down, and another huge hit in the end zone. That will be a safety. It's Raiders defense and special teams coming out strong early. That's Beckett Curtis, number 44. Absolutely came out of a cannon right there. Look at this, just exploding to the ball. He's launched forward right there. That's great special teams play there from the Raiders, led by Beckett Curtis, the outside linebacker.
Yeah, but that's another thing we've talked about all year, just unreal special teams play from the Raiders, and you see it again there. And for all you kids watching at home, watch that tackle again. That is a form tackle to a T. That is how you hit. Head up, look at your target, explode through it, and get the safety. I mean, Raiders have just an unbelievable start so far.
So I haven't seen this happen a lot, but in the last game, we saw a couple of safeties. And in this one, we've got one in the first quarter. So Raiders up 10-0 after that opening touchdown run from Buck Randall and then Beckett Curtis with the tackle in the end zone. So Raiders are going to get really good field position right here as that one is returned for some good positive yardage there by Preston Halsey, the running back, who last time we were here, Mikey, coming back from injury, got in the end zone a little bit as a running back. So welcome to the Game On Sports booth. Will Washington here with Mikey Lamar. Had some technical difficulties to start. So, Mikey, we really haven't gotten to set this one up yet, but Raiders are 7-0-1 on the season, and that one came last week, 16-16 tie at Prosper Reynolds, and that was the only team that beat them last year.
Yep.
So they went there wanting some revenge. They kind of got it. They didn't get beaten, but they also didn't get the win, and they did want the win. So you can expect them to be motivated here tonight as that handoff goes to Brooks Biggers.
Yeah, well, I talked to Buck about it, and he was saying, you know, they weren't happy because a tie's not a loss, but it's also definitely not a win. So they came out tonight, and I know Buck's fired up to get a win after that last week, and I think all the boys are too.
The two scores last week were both touchdown passes from Randall to Harrison Brown, but just couldn't get any more than that. So you know they're going to come out motivated. That was the biggest game and really toughest opponent they were going to have of the season, as Randall rolls right, passes incomplete there to Luke Cecil, who's one of his favorite targets. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. And again, this team undefeated on the year, 7-0-1. And this is it. This is their last game of the season, which means this is their last game of middle school.
Yep.
So this will be the last time they put on the Highland Park Raider jersey. The next time we see these guys at this stadium is going to be as freshman football players with some blue and gold on. So you know they want to go out strong tonight and really end their middle school career on a positive.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a little bit of emotion. You know, last game of football season is always emotional. I think there's a little extra tonight at being their last game as Raiders. I'm sure they're excited to go out there and play their best and then look forward to working hard in the offseason being Scots next year.
Randall rolls right. It's incomplete to Hutt Corwin. Got to give some credit there to Brooks Biggers. Had a man blitzing coming the other way, coming really fast. Brooks saw it and was able to kind of get him off of his line of sight there so that Randall could get a throw off. So that brings up a 4th and 7. As of now, looks like the Raiders are lining up to go for it. 3 receivers to the right. Randall drops back. Little screen set up to Biggers. And he gets the first down and more. Great call on 4th down. So the Raiders now in the red zone.
Love that call there. Looked like the defense just lost Biggers in that play. Dropped into his zone, didn't pick him up. Snuck out of the backfield and got the first down.
What a great job there by Biggers, too. Really kind of sold like he was going to just stand there and block. and then just snuck over to the left there. That's a really good call against a defense that might be a little over-aggressive here early. As you can see, they're really crowding the line. Randall steps right again, flings it over. Nice little juke move there by Luke Cecil. Wow. Showing some agility, takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders.
That was an unbelievable move by Luke right there. Great throw by Buck to get the ball to him, and then just yards after catch. I mean, right there, making two guys miss back-to-back to get in the end zone. Great play by Luke.
That really is an unbelievable play right there. These Raiders really have some athletes out there. We talk about what Brooks Biggers can do in open space. Luke Cecil's been doing it too, and is really just a touchdown machine. So he's really become one of Randall's favorite targets. Is that extra point is good for Max Green, who's really been just lights out this whole season. So not even halfway through this first quarter, the last game of the regular season here for the Raiders. They're up 18-0 early. 2 touchdowns, 1 safety. They're looking really good.
Yeah, it's hard to think how this could have started better for the Raiders. I think everything's pretty much going their way.
You can tell they've come out motivated.
Yeah.
Love that 4th down call. You're in Raptors territory. Is a punt going to help you that much? Not a ton. You just look at it. You trust your defense regardless.
Yep.
You get a really good play call, a little screen to Brooks Biggers, who's very dangerous in space, gets about 13, 15 yards there, sets him up in the red zone, and then Luke Cecil just showing what he can do in space right there. A lot of dangerous athletes for the Raiders. It's going to be fun to watch them play one more time here in the Raider gold as the Raptors will start on their own 30. Again, Mikey, we don't have a Raptors roster, so we're just going to be calling numbers, doing the best we can. In the last game, got to give some credit to the Raptors. They really played well, but the red team won their final game of the regular season. But you can tell Prosper Rushing, they're coming in tonight. They want to try to get a win in their last game here at Highlander.
Yep.
But this is going to be an important drive. We've seen this with some teams here so far against the Raiders. Now, when you fall down early, if you can't get a drive pretty quickly, you can fall out of it. So this drive right here, this is going to be one of the critical drives of the game.
Yep. It's like early in a fight, you get punched in the mouth. How are you going to respond? We'll see how Prosper Rushing responds here.
Really nice tackle there from the Raiders. It's number 35, Cha-Cha Harvey, which is one of my favorite names, if not my favorite name on the team.
It's a great name. Cha-Cha. Love that.
We've got some good names on this team. You got, remember there's a Pudge Henson.
We got Buck. We got Huck.
Yeah, we've got a lot of them, but does anyone beat Cha-Cha? I don't know. He's living up to his name right there.
Looked like there was a holding call on that play.
It's going to bring up a 1st and 20 as they start behind the chains here. And Mikey, we've got another special guest tonight. We've had some movement happen throughout the day. It's a busy time of year.
Yeah, it is.
For a lot of these players. So we've lost a few of them, but we've kept one of the ones we're really excited about. That's varsity basketball captain for Highland Park, Drew McElroy. So he's going to be heading over here in a minute to talk to us about this Scots basketball season. They're expecting to have a really good season. They've got some really good returning players. So we're going to talk to them about that because your boy here is doing play-by-play for the Scots basketball team. So I want to give him a shout-out because you can catch all those games here on Game On Sports. They're a lot of fun to watch. So we're going to be talking to them about that with Drew McElroy when he gets in there. And then we'll talk some varsity football. They're getting close to the playoff time.
Yep.
And then we're going to close it out of here as these guys finish their middle school career. It's a beautiful night here in Dallas, Texas. And so far the Raiders looking really good here early in this one, up 18-0. And Mikey, we haven't gotten to talk much. We had to jump right in here. What do you want to see from these guys tonight? I mean, it's their last game here in the Raider Gold. What do you want to see as they go out of their middle school career here tonight?
I mean, I've already seen a lot of it. I wanted them to come out strong, start fast, come out hungry, and and just play how they can play and how we've seen them play this season. And so far, they've done that. And at this point, just want to see more of that. Let's play Raider football.
It's a positive run there for the Raptors on 2nd and 20. Kind of looks like more than 2nd and 20 there, Mikey, as I'm looking at it. It looks like a lot of ground to make up there, but it's now 3rd down.
We'll call it a mile. We'll call it 3rd and a mile.
I mean, we're going to need a big play here to get the first down, and anything's possible. So we'll see what happens. But this Raiders team is really getting a pass rush, and it's one of the things I'm really looking for in a team, especially nowadays. And when these guys get to high school, you've got to have pass rushers against these spread offenses that they're going to be facing, especially when they get into these Thursday and Friday night lights. And they got them right here.
Yep.
They send a blitz. Nice catch there by number 4. 3 Raiders in position, not letting anything get behind them. That's really all you're trying to do right there on 3rd and long.
Yeah.
You're okay with them completing the pass, but you just don't want to let anything get behind you. So that's going to set up about a 4th and a long 12. We'll see what they do right here.
Looks like they're bringing the punter out.
So they're going to be kicking to Brooks Biggers, and we have seen this man return 4 touchdowns before. In fact, our first game we called here, Mikey, he took a kick to the house.
Yep.
So hopefully they watch their film right here. That one is going to settle out of bounds. The Raiders are going to get good field position again. They've really been starting with great field position. If we had their average field position, it would be into Raptors territory each time here. So thanks for tuning in tonight. This is Raider Football presented by Game On Sports. Will Washington here with Mikey Lamar. It's been a special production of Game On Sports, getting to do some of these home games this season. So we're bringing you the final game of the regular season as Del Storer now coming in the game for quarterback for the Raiders. And Mikey, we've been impressed with him. Threw a couple of touchdowns in their last home game. He really showed what he can do on the run and just some of his arm talent. So the Raiders have a really good quarterback here in Del Storer. It's going to be a handoff just for a couple yards there.
Yeah, you mentioned it last game on one of his touchdowns, the flick of the wrist that he has, and just the way he's able to get it out. Quick release, strong arm, and he's a lefty, which I love to see personally. So I'm excited to watch some Adele tonight.
Brings up a 2nd and 6. Storer looks right. It's an incompletion. Gets knocked down there, but gets right back up. Can tell if there's a little miscommunication or something like that, but that brings up a 3rd and 6. And I like this Raptors defense so far. I mean, the Raiders have scored pretty well, but the Raptors 2 times here have gotten them in 3rd downs and 4th downs. And so if you're the Raptors, really, it's a matter of converting on 3rd and 4th down. That's really what you have to do if you're going to stay in this one. So far, this game coming down to 3rd and 4th downs as Del Storer lines up for a 3rd and 6. Storer drops back, rolls right, under pressure and brought down for a sack. And that's exactly what we're talking about, Mikey, is if you are the Prosper rushing Raptors, and if you can get this Raiders team into 3rd and 4th down scenarios, you've got to convert.
Yeah, you got to get off the field. And right there, they do a great job. It looked like a 6-man blitz, maybe 5. But guy came off the edge and got to Dell. And they got off the field. That was really good from the Prosper rushing defense there.
That brings up a 4th down and 14. Storer stays on the field. 2-by-2 formation for the Raiders. Sometimes they kick these, sometimes they go for them. That's going to be a free play and an offside. Storer flings it downfield. That one is batted down by number 9 of the defense. He's fired up about it, Mike. He lost his mouth guard, but he was yelling a little bit. He was excited.
Yeah, I mean, he made a great play. Good job tracking the ball and then making a play, not getting called for pass interference. but there was an offside, so that play will come back.
Yeah, and that's
Raiders
the
will get
point.
another try.
Mikey's like, the way that these guys are coached, and we see this with Buck Randall too, is when they see that offsides, they like to go deep, and we've seen them have touchdowns on that. So I love Del Store saying, it's 4th and 14, you jumped off sides, I've got a free play. I'm going to throw it down the field right there.
Yeah, and the awareness there is really out of this world. You see guys on Saturday, even Sunday, they get the offsides, they don't take a shot like that. So great play there by Dell to know the situation and to respond accordingly.
Looks like a false start, so we're going to go right back to where we were.
Just give it back to them. Yeah.
Where were we off? That is a timeout by the Raiders here in this 4th. And looks like 17. So really, again, like we've been saying, Mikey, the Raptors doing a good job of getting the Raiders down situations, and you really got to convert if you're the Raptors right here. You got to keep them away from a first down. This team's really talented. They've got big skill position players, so they can convert a play like this. We've also seen scenarios, Highland Park likes to run this on the varsity, where they'll line up the quarterback like they're going to go for it. They're just going to get a look. He'll take a couple steps back and do a punt.
Yep.
And so we've seen Buck do that. I don't remember seeing Dell do that this season, and Buck is going out there right now. So you would think that's what they're going to do right here on 4th and 17. But if you get a look that you like, you might end up calling a play, but most likely going to be one of those punts right here.
Yeah. It looked like they were doing that before they took the timeout, so maybe they talked it over and they're going to go for it here.
Looks like they do. Randall's going to run that out of bounds, and that's going to get the Raptors offense on the field. So kind of an interesting scenario right there, and I think it says you really trust your defense. I mean, you've been seeing this Raiders defense be extremely successful, really haven't allowed much at all so far. And so it gives you a little more confidence when you're calling offensive plays. Really think you can go for some of these, as we've got 19 seconds left in this first quarter. And Drew McElroy is in the press box here, so we're going to have him join us at the beginning of the second quarter. Varsity basketball captain. We're going to talk Scott's basketball right here. It's going to be fun to get to talk to him here as the Raptors offense back on the field. I think it's the best field position they've had so far tonight.
Definitely.
You got to play them a little different. They line up with a tight end. This quarterback drops back here under pressure, throws it right over the middle, just over the head of Harley Eckert.
Yeah, I was looking for his receiver right there in the middle of about 3 Raiders and just a little overthrown. Harley almost coming up with the pick there, but good play. Also, just a side note for all you guys at home, we're having Drew McElroy in the booth. If y'all want to take a second and step away from this broadcast, I'd recommend going and watching his mixtape. I mean, it's unbelievable. He's getting lobs, he's dunking, he's hitting threes. He's kind of a do-it-all type of guy. And some would compare him to a young Giannis, back when he was playing in the EuroLeague. I'd compare him to Luka personally, a little bit more athletic, but
he has a step-back move.
Yeah.
He really does.
I've seen it. It's Luka-esque.
No, it's pretty deadly. We're going to talk to him about it. A ton of Raiders there making the tackle on second down. That should take us all the way to the end here of the first quarter. So into the first quarter, Raiders up 18-0. We're going to get Drew McElroy in here. We're going to see if he's here. We may not have told him exactly where he is. Yes, we did. Here he is. He's coming in through the door right here. So we've got him on. There he is.
There we go.
Drew McElroy, here you are.
I was just standing next door to him and interrupt.
Well, we're glad you found it. I forgot to tell you exactly what room we're in. So
no problem.
Welcome to the Game On Sports booth. This is Drew McElroy, Scott's varsity basketball player and captain And so you guys are getting ready to start November 11th.
Next Friday.
Next Friday night, you're at Wiley, I believe.
We are. We're on the road.
Tip off the season, 7:30. So you can catch that with Game On Sports. I will be calling the games again, so we want everybody to tune in. But, Drew, tell us about this season. I mean, you guys return a lot of talent. This is going to be a really good varsity team. How are you guys feeling getting ready to tip off next Friday night?
Sure, yeah. This offseason so far has been really crucial for us. We got a lot of returning guys, like you said, that being Colson Messer, Dylan Walker, Ryder White, Jackson Heiss. I mean, the list goes on. We have about, nearly 10 guys back. And we're just, we're preparing in the offseason just like we would in the regular season. And we're looking forward to not only, producing this year and proving everyone wrong, but, showing exactly why we belong in 6A this year, especially with the tough district that we got.
That one's knocked down by Hudson Bell. Thrown over the middle a little bit, but the Raiders doing a really good job congesting the middle. That brings up a 4th down. Will Washington, Mikey Lamar here with Scott's basketball captain, Drew McElroy. As you see that right over the middle. Hudson Bell doing a really good job there. Looks like the Raptors will punt again here early in the second quarter. So, Drew, let's keep talking about Highland Park basketball here.
Sure.
You guys are in a new district, and there's some fun teams you guys are going to be playing. You're going to be playing Lake Highlands, which was one of the early non-district games last year. You guys lost a close one. That was a very talented Lake Highlands team. They had some big recruits
for sure
on that team. You're going to be playing Jesuit twice. Last year, you guys beat them in the championship game of their own tournament. So that was one of the biggest games of the year. Crazy environment. This district's going to be fun. You're playing Richardson. They've got some talented players. Two guys that one just went to Alabama, one just went to Kentucky.
For sure.
So they've got some talent. So how do you feel about this new district?
The district's just an opportunity for us to prove ourselves. Last 2 years, the district not necessarily hasn't been bad. It just hasn't been as compelling to gain attention, right? So in this Metroplex, the way you really get seen and noticed is if you're playing against, competition that's worthy of being recognized. And as for Lake Highlands, they've got, not only the #1 kid in the nation, but they've also got a couple other D1 commits. And as for Richardson, they don't have necessarily exactly the same guys, but they do have a lot of talent back. And then same with Jesuit, everyone loves seeing the Highland Park Jesuit battle. And it's ultimately just a platform to prove ourselves. So, we're excited to showcase what we can do and, show where we belong, like I said.
First down run to Preston Halsey there. Big physical running back for the Raiders. So, Mikey, you were talking earlier. You've seen some of Drew's highlights.
Yeah.
He's got a step back move that reminds you of someone. Talk to him about what you're thinking there.
Some would say James Harden, but, being a Mavs fan, I'd say it's pretty Luka-esque. Drew, where'd you learn that move? How long did it take you to perfect it? And when are we going to see it this year?
Sure. So I would say that freshman year when I was coming off of an injury, I don't know really exactly what I was studying. All sorts of different kinds of film and just translating. The best people say, go to the gym and just try it. Just try it and rep it out and see, what fits and what doesn't fit. And, for some reason for me, it just clicked. It was one of the more natural moves. And, for a guy like Luke, his bag is so deep. It's incredible. But, for a high school guy like me, taking what really works. And my sophomore year, I remember like it was yesterday, we were at Crandall on the road, big time fourth quarter comeback. And
I called this play. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Jack Pease drives middle, kicks it to me, and I give a little slight pump fake and then step right into it, and it just felt like butter. And I think that, this year you're going to see it a lot of times because the teams we're playing are going to be, not only overplaying, but really trying to get into us. And so that separation is going to be really nice, and just keeping it smooth and, playing through it and keeping a nice touch on the shoulder is going to be a good thing. So that's definitely my go-to. And, if they take it away, you keep doing it. You see Luka, he don't care if they take it away. He's going to keep on doing it. And I'm going to definitely get it off multiple times this year, so y'all will be able to see that.
Love to hear that. And they say shoot or shoot. So,
shoot or shoot. And we're going to keep doing the same move. And if we have to switch it up, we're going to switch it up. We're going to do what we can to be successful.
Yes, sir.
It's good stuff here from Drew McElroy. That looks like it's going to be a turnover as the Raiders don't get the 4th down. That was a nice catch there on 3rd down from Henry Swinger, doing a really good job as a young receiver, finding open grass in the zone. That's a very mature route right there from Henry Swinger. But unfortunately, Raiders do not get the first down. So Prosper has had some opportunities. They've gotten some stops, but they're going to have to convert right here. So Will Washington, Mikey Lamar here with Drew McElroy, Scott's senior varsity basketball captain, talking about the step back move. And Drew, I remember that very vividly. Coach Clark and I were together, and what Coach Clark called that, he said that was a next level move in the moment.
Right.
Because we were just like, wow, that was sophomore year. So you played sophomore year, junior year. Here you are as a captain senior year. What does that do for you, just getting to play multiple years? It's pretty rare to be on the varsity team as a sophomore. So to have all this experience, what advantage do you think that gives you here this senior year?
Right. I would just say, knowing you belong. My sophomore year, I was coming in and I was, filling the role of being the role guy for whenever, the starters needed a little breather. And I took that role on seriously because now whenever I come into the game, I know I belong and I know it's my team and it's my right to lead. I've earned that over the past 2 years. And, the biggest thing about being a leader on your team is, having your peers respect you. And I think the biggest thing that I've been able to do over the last 2-3 years with my guys is, show them that they can trust me and believe in me to lead them and lead them to success. And so I think that's ultimately our goal this year is, realizing that we've got multiple people in the position to lead this year that are willing to do what it takes to win. And so I think that the years of being on varsity have not only given me experience, but, the right to, earn respect of my teammates. And so they trust me. Trust is a big thing.
It really is going to be a fun season. I was talking to Dylan Walker about a week ago, and he was really the sixth man last year, coming in a lot. His three-point shot was unbelievable. There was a road game late in the season. He was just hitting threes. Yeah, Roy City
on their senior night.
Hitting tons of threes.
Really dirty.
He made it memorable for him.
No doubt.
It was a pitch play right there. Good pursuit. There's 97 again. Charlie Davenport. I mean, he's got to be my player of the game defensively so far. Playing great defensive end, showing some speed there on pursuit as there is a flag now. But Dylan Walker coming back. We know what he can do offensively. Colson Messer, he's been a contributor. He can hit you in a lot of ways. He can shoot, but he can really play in the paint. And then when Jackson Heist comes back from football, he's going to be a big man. You're going to be out there. So you guys have a lot of returning seniors, but you got versatile players. You got guys that can get to the paint. You got guys that can shoot. We know that that's what Coach Peeler wants. He either wants you to hit a three or drive it in there for a layup.
Sure.
What do you think this versatility is going to do for you? I mean, I think this is maybe one of the most talented varsity teams that I've seen since I've gotten to do this. And I'm really excited to see it all come together.
For sure. I think it's just, the versatility is going to help us in a lot of ways, especially when we're playing teams like Lake Highlands, or if we're deep in the, the state round and we're playing in Arlington School or some team that's athletic. The versatility is going to, make us play as if we're not Highland Park. The stereotypical thing that we're always placed on is, we're shooters and we're shooters only. And I think this year people are going to be really not only stunned, but, maybe sit back a little bit in their chairs, be like, they can do more. They can handle pressure. They can shoot the ball, they can get to the basket, and they're versatile on both sides of the floor, including defense. They don't think we play a lot of defense, which is, humbling. Of course, we may not be the top defensive team on the paper in the state, but everyone takes everything off the paper, and I think that, they got to justify us by our actions this year, and we'll for sure show that versatility, especially when we get Jackson back. He did a phenomenal job last year stepping in, guarding the other team's best players, and that allows for the offensive guys to really, thrive and save some energy to translate it back to the other end.
Drew McElroy here for Scott's basketball. Big tackle right there. That's Charlie Davenport again. I mean, I don't know if we're speaking into existence or he's just dominating tonight. This is really unbelievable. Shedding his blockers, his pursuit's phenomenal. And then he's making tackles in the open space. I'm so impressed with him. That brings up a 3rd and 7. That was after a really good catch there from the Raptors. So this is a big play for the Raiders on defense. We're going to ask Drew just a couple more questions after this play because we know he has things to do. He came straight from practice tonight. So we're going to ask him just a couple more here as the Raptors line up for this 3rd and 7 play. Deep in the first half here, Raiders up 18-0. Looking to stay undefeated on the season, close out their middle school career on a high note. They shift a little bit on the defensive line. That pass is intercepted by the Raiders. He's coming the other way. And he has got green grass in front of him. That is a long way to go there for Benton Corden. That's a pick 6, Mikey. Touchdown for the Raiders.
That is a huge swing right there. I mean, they're in the red zone about to score, and Benton says no sir and takes it 95 yards the other way. Unbelievable play right there.
Look at that, just sinks back there into coverage reads it perfectly. That is a long way to go.
That's 98 yards.
That's unbelievable. 98-yard interception return for a touchdown right there. Ben Gordon, look at him about the 20. He's like, oh my gosh, I have 20 yards left. But he finishes it. What a play there by number 34.
And had energy to celebrate.
That's unbelievable. That's going to have to be the play of the game right now. I don't know what else is going to happen, but I love how he just sunk right back there into coverage. Quarterback didn't quite see it.
Right on the slant, yep.
Right on the slant. That was awesome. We're going to show that again here when we do some halftime highlights. So Drew McElroy, we got to get you out of here for Scott's basketball. I got one more for you, and then Mike, if you want to jump in one more time. Drew, we know you're a music connoisseur. You know, you listen to a wide variety. You've taught me a lot about the rap industry over the years. We'll just say that. So let's just ask it for the people at home here that need to freshen up their playlist.
Yeah.
You know, within reason. What's on the pregame playlist this year? What are you listening to? What's getting you ready to play?
Right. So I would say there's a lot of variety of music, right? I'm not hating on country. I'm not hating on any of the other stuff that people like to listen to. But when it comes to the pregame game time, I mean, you got like 20, 25 minutes of just, you know, what is it that really locks you in? And it's different for everyone. But I would say in high school and in today's day and age, it's probably going to be something with all the longs of the new rap, right?
Give us a name.
And
give us an artist.
I would say this year on our pregame playlist, we got a lot of Drake. I've already seen it. It's a clean playlist, obviously, right? We got to keep it clean. But we got a lot of Drake because I mean Drake's got a ton of just throwback bangers that before the game. I think I saw a little bit of Lil Wayne. I'm not entirely sure. We probably threw a little bit of NBA YoungBoy on there, but I mean, for the people watching at home, I promise you we're versatile in the music as well. But for that pregame, you got about 20, 25 minutes, and I'm gonna be honest. I mean, we throw a few songs that are a little over the top, but they get us ready for the game. I mean, the ultimate goal is, if you go into a locker room before a game, I mean, you're going to hear some upbeat music to get your heart really going. So I think we're going to definitely keep it along the lines of something like that, but definitely clean. It's going to be clean.
So it's a family show. Drew McElroy.
It's a family show. It's for the kids. It's for the kids.
Getting fired up pregame, but keep it clean. We love that. Little Drake, little Wayne. We're throwing it back.
Lil Wayne, throw it back. I mean, the new guys up and coming. You got Lil Baby. I mean, you name it.
It's nice to be a senior, isn't it? You can have some control over this thing this time around.
You got a little leeway, no doubt, and it's definitely a lot of fun. And when you sit back and realize, all the times you've had to sit back and take a back seat, you finally get the front seat. So it's pretty cool.
Mike, you want to ask Drew one more here before we send him out of here?
Yeah, I have one closing question. Okay, so whether it's first game, second game, whatever it is, you get a steal, you see wide open down the court, you hear Wash yelling Showtime on the broadcast. What are we going to see?
Okay, so here we go. That's a good question, right? You either take the safe two. It also depends on the score, but you either take the safe two laid up. But I will say, if I got Colson Messer, Jordan Stribling, Thomas Jackman, or Dylan Walker behind me, it is definitely going in the air in some sort of fashion, and it will be coming down, no doubt. And I'm okay if I take the back seat on that one, because I'd rather take the safe two. And if the safe two is a tomahawk jam off an alley-oop, I will gladly take that. But I have to say, if I do hear Showtime and I see clear court and I got a trailer, it's going off the backboard, it's going off the ground, it's going in there, it's something, and someone's throwing that thing down.
I saw that there were a couple home games last year where we got to see this. Colson had a couple dunks.
Definitely, and I would love to be a part of it. And if I'm on the part of it on the passing end, I'll gladly do it. And if I get enough adrenaline, I'll get up there and try to give a show for the people, because I mean, every time in transition you hear dunk it. I mean, you can't escape it. But at the end of the day, we're gonna take our two, whatever sort of fashion that is, and be on our way and go win the ball game.
Love to hear that. That's a good entertainment value answer, but also with a little bit of captain sprinkled in there.
Definitely. The last thing you want to do is get pulled out of a game for trying to go and dunking it and totally rimming it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly right. Drew McElroy, Scott's basketball captain. We were looking forward to this one. We're excited to get it going. You can watch these games, every one of them, on Game On Sports,
yes,
starting next Friday night, November 11th, 7:30. At Wiley. So Scott's may have a playoff game.
Yes,
so
they do, but you can check in.
Tune it in. Like the best case scenario, that should be a home game. Come to the home game, stream the basketball. while that's going
Exactly.
on. You can
get the best of both worlds.
Check it both
and
out.
we've got plenty of games to make it out after the football season. And we play Tuesday, Fridays. And then during Thanksgiving break, we'll play on a Monday or a Thursday. And then over Christmas, we'll play on the weekends. So we got plenty of opportunities for people to come out. So
yeah, the Friday night games
The Friday
are
night
a
games
blast.
will be a lot of
so
fun.
definitely bring the family to that one. Those
In
are
this
a lot of
district
fun.
this year, we're in a close vicinity, proximity. People have plenty of opportunities to come out. And they're definitely going to come see the guys that we're playing. So
some cool gyms to go see. So
Definitely.
make sure you follow this team. It's going to be a fun ride. Drew McElroy, thanks for joining us.
Thank
We'll
y'all
let
for
you get
having
on to the
me.
next
I
thing
appreciate
here.
it. Thank y'all.
About 1:44 left here in this opening half. Raiders are looking pretty good here. Mikey, that's a fun one, isn't it? Drew
That is.
McElroy
That's
coming in
great.
here. We knew he'd bring the energy. That's why I asked him. I knew he'd have some fun for us here tonight, and he's going to bring a lot of energy to this Scots basketball team. And,
Yep.
and like I was saying, I mean, they're talented. It's going to be a lot of fun. You got to go to a few games last year. It's one of my favorite things that I get to do with Game On Sports is
Yep.
follow this basketball team, because not only are they fun to watch, and they're going to have a great season, they're just great guys. They're
Yep.
really good role models. And so would love for people to come out to these games and stream them when they can't. As Brooks Biggers takes this one, makes a man miss. Gets right across the 45 there. You see a little shake and bake there from Brooks Biggers. The Raiders get the ball back with a minute and a half left, up 26-0. And we got to go back to that. We're gonna show a highlight at halftime of the Benton Gordon pick six. I mean, we'll break it down. But that's just a heck of a play. And like you did the math there. I'm not very good at math here, Mikey, but that's a 98-yard return. That's absolutely ridiculous. And that's one of those, you get to the 30 or the 20, and you're like, do I really have 20, 30 more yards? But he took it all the way, and that's a heck of a play. That's one you're going to remember in your last middle school game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think I could run 98 yards just straight up.
And that's
so
like a
just-
punishment,
Yeah,
usually.
yeah. So to see someone with the football pads on, with guys chasing him, go 98 yards, it's pretty unbelievable.
Randall with an open receiver. Just falls down right there. That's Luke Cecil again on the outside. Man, you got to love the patience there from Randall. He could have taken off. You're going to see it right here. Gets under a little bit of pressure. He's patient, doesn't have anything left. Instead of taking off right there or panicking, just calmly gets it over to Luke Cecil. Gets the Raiders a first down.
Yeah, some quarterbacks scramble with their eyes down the field to run. Some scramble with their eyes down the field to throw. And you see Buck right there. There's Bryce Young-esque with keeping his eyes down the field as he scrambles and making the throw. As he does again right there.
Another completion from Randall to Liam Thomas. Thomas had a reception touchdown the last time we were here at Highlander Stadium. Getting really good stuff right here. Just Thomas runs the bubble route. Nobody covers him. That's just one-on-one coverage. Corner stays with the receiver, and nobody covers him in the flat. And once again, Randall just takes the easy throw, makes a really good decision, and gets a lot of good yards there.
Yep, just pitch and catch for these guys.
Three receivers to the left. Randall rolls left. Throws it to the flat. That one is incomplete. Intended for Harrison Brown, who he connected with twice last week in the 16-16 tie. You can tell they're pretty motivated tonight. I mean, a tie is definitely better than a loss, especially against a team, the only team that beat them last year. But that still leaves a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth. I mean, you come in here at home for your last game. You really wanted the win. Nobody wants a tie. This isn't soccer, Mikey. We love soccer. But this is a different game. So they're coming in here motivated tonight.
Yep. And these guys are competitors. They want to win every time they step on the field. So, a tie wasn't sitting well with them for the past week.
They definitely seem pretty motivated. And when we were talking to Buck, he was talking about they really just wanted to get back to focusing on the little things tonight,
Yep.
which is just great leadership
Yep.
from your quarterback there. Wanted to just get back to those fundamentals, focus on the details, and they're doing it so far as Randall rolls left. That one's incomplete, intended for Max Green. Now it looks like these two receivers a little close there to one another. Might not have quite had the right separation and depth right there. Makes it a little hard of a throw. That brings up a 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I think we'll take the blame for those last 2 incompletions. Talking up Buck, it's a curse of the commentator.
That's a real thing. Unless you're Charlie Davenport,
True.
then it's like putting fuel on the fire. But so far, we don't want to curse this here. This is 3rd and 10, 24 seconds left in the first half. Raiders, Raptors, Highlander Stadium. Randall rolls left again, hangs on to it. A big block right there from Brooks Biggers as Randall runs it out of bounds. And Biggers knows it as he high-fives his offensive lineman, Kate Thornton, right there. I love Brooks Biggers blocking. I mean, he's so good with the football, so good in open space, so good on special teams, but he's such an underrated blocker. I mean, I feel like every game, he's really just got a sense of where guys are coming from after the quarterback, and he hits pretty hard. So I love seeing that from my talented running back, a guy that also has great awareness of where people are and can make a pretty physical block there. 4th down here. Randall holds the option, takes it in, touchdown. Raiders, another 4th down conversion, and Randall's 2nd rushing touchdown of the night gives the Raiders an even bigger lead.
That was just well executed across the board. Buck faked the pitch man, or the guy guarding the pitch, and cut upfield. His line held their blocks, receivers held their blocks, and it was a walk-in touchdown for Buck.
We got to give the offensive coordinator some credit. I mean, that's 2 4th down calls. One was a screen. The second was that option that have just been fantastic as that kick is good once again from Max Green. I don't know that I've called a miss from him. And now I kind of regret saying that because usually when you say that, we know what happens next. But I think he'll be fine. He's kind of automatic. So look at this. Great block right there on the outside. He was trying to get a number, couldn't quite get it. But Randall reads as the pitch is covered. Takes it in. That was a really good block. When we get the highlights again later, we're gonna get who that offensive lineman was. But that's something you plan for as an offensive coordinator. You've got some 4th down plays depending on the distance that you feel good about. So love the screen call, love the option call there on the goal line. I mean, you get 3 receivers to the right, so you're kind of trying to stack the defense over there, create a little bit of space. And then really, as we like to talk about, Mikey, in the spread offense, one of the core principles, you're trying to equate numbers in the run game. And one of the ways you do that is by having your quarterback be a running threat. So that normally gets you numbers. When you look at the box and your quarterback's a run threat, they already had the number game 1. He just had to make the right decision, and he did it.
Yep.
And that will take us to the end of the half. It's Raiders 34, Raptors 0. So the Raptors had a couple opportunities on 3rd and 4th downs to make this interesting, but the Raiders doing what they do, bouncing back from the tie last week, really in dominant fashion. Mikey, what are you thinking so far here after this first half?
You know, I'm thinking that went about as well as it could for the Raiders. They got backed up a couple times, but, you know, the pick 6 from Benton just made some great plays. And here we have our highlights package.
And here it is. That's the 4th down. The first one, screen right there to Brooks Biggers. Doing a really good job there. And then this one, Buck Randall rolling right. He's going to find Luke Cecil. Look at this juke move right here. And then takes it in. He just hunts for the goal line. And then right here, here's your pick 6 right there from Gordon. Running 98 yards, Mikey.
Makes me tired just watching it. Unbelievable play.
Look at Ben Gordon right here. He's got nobody in front of him. He's getting to the 30. He's like, oh my gosh, I have 30 more yards, 20 more yards. Takes it all the way, drops into coverage. Just a great play from Ben Gordon, number 34. That's the play of the game so far for the Raiders. This one right here, nice run here, going to get it in scoring range. And then right here, once again, the option. Look at those numbers. Randall's got too much space. Linebacker can't get there in time. And a really good block there on the edge. Raiders up 34-0. So we're going to take a quick break here from Highlander Stadium as the Raiders look to finish their season, get that 8th win on the season. Will Washington here with Mikey Lamar. We'll be back right after this for the beginning of the second half. You ready? Welcome back to Highlander Stadium. This is a special presentation of Raider football presented by Game On Sports. Will Washington here with former Scots placeholder and DB Mikey Lamar. And Mikey, after a tie last week, you knew the Raiders were going to come in here motivated, and they sure delivered. They're up 34-0 at halftime. What stood out to you the most from that first half?
I think just the desire. We mentioned it in the first half. They're just competitors, all of them, and so just coming out and competing and playing hard and really just doing their assignments, doing their jobs, making plays when it comes to them, and that's really the essence of Raider and Scott football. And we saw that to a T in the first half, and that's why they're up 34-0.
That's exactly right. We saw a little bit of everything. We saw Buck Randall on the first play have a huge touchdown run. We saw Beckett Curtis get a safety on a punt. We saw Luke Cecil with a touchdown catch after just a great move there.
Yep.
And then, to me, the play of the half, Benton Gordon on the pick six, 98 yards, which is unbelievable. And then Buck Randall with the touchdown run on fourth down there. So really good stuff from the Raiders. They're going to start on defense. And it's easy, Mikey, when we talk about all these skill position guys to forget the defense. But this defense has been absolutely dominant this season. And really, all the way through. I mean, they've got guys on all three levels of the defense. Looked like Gordon playing linebacker, dropping back there, having a 98-yard pick six. You've got the D-line playing great tonight. You got everybody all over the place. And this really does give you an opportunity to just keep building depth. I mean, the only way to get better is to get real game snaps. And this is their last game of the season before they hit the offseason. And then the next time they'll really get going here is spring football with 8th grade, and then in the summer they'll turn into Scots playing 9th grade football. So this is an important half. Even when you're up 34-0, you want to get some really quality snaps so you go into the offseason with momentum.
Yeah, and I'm sure the coaches told them 0-0, play like this is a new game. Scoreboard doesn't matter, and I'm sure we'll see that from the Raiders this half.
And you're seeing it again right there.
Yep.
That's exactly how you want to start the half. You got a multitude of guys getting in there. I'm seeing Camden Kramer in there. I think our boy Cha-Cha Harvey getting in there.
Cha-Cha.
Again, I'm going to say his name as many times as I possibly can on this broadcast. That brings up a 2nd and 14, so 4-yard loss. They've just been dominant in the front seven. And Mikey, we really want to watch what they do in the front seven here if you're watching at home, because this is what the Scots want to do on Friday nights. It all starts with their run fits and their gap control. And so that's what you're going to really see right here is paying attention to the fundamentals.
Yep.
Quick pass there is complete, but a nice play in open grass from Benton Gordon, the man with the pick six. So he's just having a fantastic game. First of all, making a play like that, but then that's a play that can kind of go unnoticed. You're out there in space against another athlete. You run to the football, you make a good read, but you got to get them on the ground. That's what really separates the good and great players on defense. You got to be able to tackle in open space like that.
Yeah, and I like the play call there. You're getting dominated on the line of scrimmage, so you go outside, but the Raiders' defense are just too fast. Great play by Benton again.
Yeah, you're trying to find an advantage right now, but Raiders' defense making it really hard to do so as Raptors drop back to throw it deep. That is great coverage. Ball's going to go out of bounds there. That's really good coverage right there. I think that was Liam Thomas.
Seen him on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, he can score offensively, really talented receiver. We've seen him get in the end zone a little bit and just in perfect position. And I love, one of the things you really love to see, especially when you're man-to-man, when that guy turns to the quarterback and you make that turn, that's really the key. And that can be the difference between pass interference or not.
Mm-hmm.
But Liam just doing a good job being in position there.
Yep. And you see island forming out there, and I think they named it Thomas Island for Liam Thomas.
There's a lot of islands out there too tonight.
Huh? There really is.
It's another punt. And that takes a favorable Raider bounce. Brooks Bigger's wearing like a visor tonight? I can't tell, but
I think he is.
if he is, he deserves it.
Yep.
I'm a fan of that look. So their last night out here, they're going to try to bring some good fits out there.
Yeah, I think it's called swag, as the kids call it. Bringing it out here.
You're pretty hip, Mikey, and I respect that about you as the Raiders offense coming out here, and they've just been dominant. Buck Randall going out there, he's just been a great leader for them all season long. It's going to be fun to watch him as he steps into high school next season, and really as all these guys just continue their career. This is going to be a really good offense. It's going to be fun to watch over the years here. Randall keeps it after the fake handoff with tons of yards right there. We've talked about it, Mikey. Randall was obviously an elite thrower, but man, he's dangerous with his legs.
Yeah, and I think at least the games we've been at, this is the most we've seen him utilize his legs. He had that long run in the first half, or he had that long run at the beginning in the first quarter, and then another touchdown in the second half. Here's a run again. Just kind of that slow mesh play that you see Sam Hartman run so well at Wake Forest, and Buck running it really well there.
Great color commentary here from Mikey Lamar pulling that one out. We got to give a shout out there as Brooks Biggers with a positive run, and we're getting through this quarter quickly right here. The Raiders up 34-0, keeping the ball on the ground a little bit here. But as we're saying, Mikey, I mean, you're up big at home at your last game, but you just can't stress this enough. It's so important to finish well. You want to finish clean. You want to end the season with a lot of momentum. They're ending their middle school career here tonight. That's a big deal. There's a little sentimental factor, but you're going to head into high school next season. You want to have some momentum as they get into the offseason here as Randall throws it into the flat. Quick completion. Cut back inside. That's Huck Corwin.
Nice little play action bubble right there to Huck. And you see great blocking on the outside by the receivers.
And that's just so crucial in this offense is they talk about the offensive line blocks for first downs, receivers block for touchdowns. So if you get receivers that are blocking, that's really going to lead to some of these bigger runs, especially that we see at the varsity level. It's usually one of the things you can trace it to is Randall throws it to Corwin on the other side.
Yep.
Gets him a little bit closer to the goal line here. 1:20 left in the third quarter. And Mikey, let's talk about these inside receivers. You see another little quick throw right there. It's such an important position in this offense. You know, in the air raid, they'll talk about how that inside, that slot receiver position really is the one that's going to make the whole thing tick. And when the Scots offense is really humming, they've got inside guys. This team's got a lot of inside guys as Brooks Biggers takes it in for another touchdown. There's a little close-up view of the swag tonight right there. He's living up to it, taking it in the end zone right there. I mean, that's a fit right there, Mikey.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to dress like that, you better be good. And Brooks is indeed very good. So
makes a dude miss right there. He's been making guys miss all season. But I'm going to say this again. He's one of the guys, our first game we called right here, he just went off, took a kickoff back, making guys miss. But I keep saying it, and I'm going to say it again and again for these guys when they watch this. The way that he blocks and the way that he's physical, that's what stands out to me. He's going to make plays. He's going to get touchdowns. When we talk about varsity players, guys like Jay Cox, guys like Wilson Axley, when you talk to these guys, one of the things that they'll talk about is how much the coaches harp on them blocking. It's not just what you do with the football. It's what you do away from the football. And Brooks Bigger is a guy that's that talented with the ball. For him to be that committed to blocking, he's not only committed, as I was saying earlier, he just has this great awareness of where guys are coming from on blitzes when they're chasing the quarterback. That's what I really love to see from a guy like that.
Yeah, and I mean, pass pro, even run blocking for a running back, I think it's one of the most underrated qualities for a running back. But, you know, if you know football, you know that's super important for them. And I think it also just highlights his just willingness to let his teammates shine and let them get the glory. He's willing to go out there and block for them do the dirty work. He doesn't have to be the one getting the glory, getting the touchdowns. He'll serve his teammates in that way, and that's really cool to see.
That's what we want to see. Now, he just got a little glory right there, taking it in the end zone as the Raiders are now up 40-0 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Will Washington here with Mikey Lamar. This is Raider football presented by Game On Sports. We've had a blast getting to cover these games throughout the season, as we've really the intention is to show the next generation of Scott talent that these guys are going to get to see on Friday nights. Mikey, we love football. We've always enjoyed the coaching conversations and strategy and all that. And one of the things we both know is how important development is. People love the Friday Night Lights, but this all starts, earlier than 7th grade, really.
Yeah.
But in 7th grade is when they really start teaching them the playbook, and they're very deliberate about this. I mean, the varsity coaches are meeting with these coaches preseason. They have a system. They know the plays they want you to know in 7th grade as the season progresses. In 8th grade, how to teach the defense. And then they just build it. So by the time you get to be a varsity player, there's just been the sequential process. They've developed you in the system. They've developed you in the offseason. They've developed this culture. The Highland Park offseason is very specific and detailed, developing the kind of culture they want as a program. So we love the development.
Yep.
And that's what's really fun about these games is in a few years, these are going to be the names you're hearing on Friday night. Yeah,
and you go to a Friday night game, it's easy to think like, oh, this just kind of happens. But no, this is years in the making. Like, these guys have been playing hard since, Y football through middle school, 7th, 8th grade at the HP middle school, and then on into high school freshman teams and JV teams. It's not just they just go out and play on Friday nights. It's years in the making. It's really cool to see just a glimpse of that and what goes into it.
It's a great play there by Cooper Allen. In this defense, Mike, you were telling me about this because you played DB in this, and a lot of the coverages they have, that corner, they got to read the deep route, but if somebody goes to the flat, they really have to break on it quickly. And that's what Cooper did right there. Number 8, Cooper Allen, just reading that, going in there. It ended up being an incomplete pass, but really good job there being in position. That's what you want to see deep in a game like this.
Yep.
Just under 6 minutes left. Raiders up 40-0. Another handoff doesn't go for very much. Right there it's like Beckett Curtis making another nice tackle. Really talented outside linebacker. His older brother Jack playing defensive end for the Scots. One of my favorite players, just brought energy, and he just had this engine on every single play. And then his other brother Anderson, who's a receiver for the JV team, he's having a really good season. So and his cousins, Walker Anderson, Sawyer Anderson, they're playing for Parrish, a corner and quarterback respectively. They're just having outstanding years, so it's just something in that blood.
Yeah, I didn't know they were cousins with the Andersons, so that's interesting. It's a lot of athleticism in those genes.
If I'm wrong on that, there's no correction, because that's intercepted by Harley Eckert. He's coming the other way. We're going to get a second pick six tonight. Harley Eckert takes it. He's just got to make one man miss. He's taken out of bounds. Thought he was going to get that in there. Harley Eckert with a big interception. That's going to be a flag after the play. Big pick from Eckert right there. Almost took it all the way. But yes, Mikey, back to Curtis. If I'm wrong on that, we don't have another broadcast, so can't really correct it at this point.
It's out there.
It's out there in the public. But let's check out this interception right here. Once again, we've been saying this all game. The Raiders are congesting that middle.
Yep.
Harley Eckert making the interception. Looks like he had some grass here, but the Raptors do a nice job closing it off. A huge return right there from Eckert. Just couldn't quite get it in the end zone. That's a big-time play there for this defense.
That is. And, I mean, in the first half, Harley almost had an interception and went just over his head. He was able to bring that one in off the bobble and just make a great return down into inside the 5 for the Raiders.
One's handed off, fumbled. And it looks to be recovered by the Raptors. We're waiting on the signal. Raiders are saying he's down. Looks like they're going to keep it here, Mikey.
I think the Raiders got on that one.
Raiders will, in fact, keep this one. Going to bring up a second goal after a little bit of a scare right there. Harley Eckert interception setting up this Raiders offense. 3:10 left. Preston Halsey and Del Store in the backfield. Store throws it into the end zone. That's a touchdown to number 15, John Ratchford. Nice touchdown throw on the slant there. That gives the Raiders even more of a lead here.
Yeah, that was great ball placement by Dell. There are a couple guys inside on the slant, as you'll see here. And Dell just puts it right where only his guy can get it. Great throw, great catch.
Really good job by Ratchford right here. I mean, as an outside receiver, especially in a jam scenario like that, you're really having to feel that coverage. So looks like he did a good job kind of sensing that linebacker inside, kind of stopped right there after he got open.
Yep.
As Green hits another extra point, so we did not curse him, which is good. I may have just been corrected on that, but he got that one. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the only one we're thinking about.
That we're focused on.
Yep.
So Max Green, he's just had a great season. And, you know, the last time we were here, he had an opening kick return touchdown. So we were laughing about it before it even happened. We were like, they shouldn't kick to Brooks Biggers.
Yep.
Well, they didn't, and they paid for it anyway. Max Green, the kicker, and he's a receiver who's just having a great year on the outside for the Raiders, took it all the way. And he's been nearly automatic on these kicks. And you cannot take that for granted in 8th grade. To have a kicker that's this consistent that you can rely on is just huge. That's something that you can really lean on in the years to come. But to have a guy that can do that, catch passes on the outside, run a kickoff, that's really a dynamic playmaker.
Yeah, and I don't know if you knew this about me, but I played soccer back in my days at good old Highland Park, and so love to see these athletic guys being able to, kick the ball and do a great job at it. Not saying I was athletic as Max, but
well, you kind of alluded to it there. Well, I'm not gonna deny it. A lot of these people weren't here to see it or really talk about it. So Mikey Lamar here, a dynamic athlete for the Scots. Me on the other hand, I got free Gatorade, but I played for a little bit. Raiders up 48-0. 40 seconds left. This takes us near the end of this one. So, Mikey, this clock's going to roll for a little bit here as the Raiders are going to send their defense out. We'll see if we get a playoff or not. They might let this one go down, might get a playoff right here, as this one's going to take us pretty close to the end. We got to give a shout out to Drew McElroy, Scott's varsity basketball captain. We were excited to talk to him. He's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, he was great.
Previewing the basketball season, which tips off November 11th, 7:30 at Wiley. Probably the same night as a Highland Park playoff game, depending on how these last couple weeks shake out here. So you got your work cut out for you. You can go to that one of those games, stream the other one. Game On Sports has all of it.
Yep.
So they're going to be covering Scott football, who's back in action. They're 9-0 on the season. They just beat Richardson 31-0 on senior night. It was in the rain, Mikey. You were here.
Yep.
Well, let's talk Scott football real quick as we wrap this one up. They go to Richardson Pierce Friday night. That's an old rivalry. They win that. They go 10-0 on the season. Then the playoffs begin. Most likely round one would be here at Highlander Stadium. And then the second round, we don't want to look ahead too much, but it would potentially be against Powerhouse Denton Geyer, which people would be lying if they said they haven't had that one circled for a long time. But we have to take care of business leading up to that. What are your thoughts on them as they finish this one out, especially after you were there on Friday night?
Yeah, it was a great game on Friday. Just showed some grit from the game. Not as much flash as you're used to seeing from a Highland Park team. So we almost get an interception there to end the season in the game. But yeah, not as much flash in the rain, but just a gritty, tough win from the Scots there. And just love seeing a football team being able to win in multiple ways. And you saw that on Friday night from the Scots. I think going forward, they don't look past any games. We talked to a bunch of the varsity players. It's something a lot of them echoed. And I think they'll take it, or they'll be focused for J.J. Pierce and be ready for that first-round game. Hopefully it's at home. I remember my senior year, our first-round game was at home, and it was just a really fun atmosphere being a senior and playing at home, and you're in a playoff game. It was just kind of different.
Yeah, there's nothing like that at all. So you can catch that, all those games. Friday night, they'll be at J.J. Pierce. And then the basketball team tipping off November 11th. We've got some highlights from this one, then we're going to wrap it up right here. There's a lot of highlights to choose from. Starts with this safety here. Becca Curtis just rocking the punter, getting 2 points on the board. And then right here, Randall with the screen to Brooks Biggers. Great fourth down call, getting a really big gain. And sets up this play right here. Buck Randall rolling right, flinging it over to Luke Cecil. Makes a man miss right there. Takes it into the end zone. And here's your pick six right here from Benton Gordon, 98 yards, Mikey.
I think this is going to make our official Sewell play of the game from Benton Gordon, 98 yards to the house on the pick six. Unbelievable play there.
That is a long run, and that's going to be a thrilling one. He'll remember that one forever. Last middle school game here at Highlander, 98-yard pick six. And right here, nice scramble by Buck, getting him in good position. Keeps it on the option on fourth down. Takes it in for his second rushing touchdown of the night. And then Brooks Biggers will move right there. He can block, he can move. Taking it in for a touchdown. Nice visor. Great look from Brooks Biggers. And then another pick six here. Not nearly a pick six, another interception. Harley Eckert doing great stuff in the passing game tonight. Almost got this one in, but a heck of a return nonetheless.
Yep.
Then right here, touchdown pass from Storr to Ratchford. Great little catch there. So that'll take us to the end of this one, Mikey. Your final is 48-0. The Raiders in this season, 8-0-1 on the season. So just a fantastic season for this team. This is an exciting class. What are your closing thoughts? I mean, we've had a lot of fun getting to fill in with some of these home games, kind of a new thing, getting to cover the future of Scott football here, and then getting to interview some of these players, giving everybody a look at some of the behind the scenes of these varsity football players. Then tonight, Drew McElroy, basketball player. What are your closing thoughts on this season we've gotten to do together?
It's always fun getting to broadcast football, cover some football, but it's even more fun when the guys are playing as well as these guys did this year. So it was just really easy for us to just sit back and watch them just do their thing, play Raider football, and excited to see them next year as Scots and as they continue their football careers into the future.
It's been a lot of fun here covering these games. 48-0 is your final. We've got to give a shout out to Game On Sports. We've got so many people to thank. Trevor Van Dam doing a great job getting all this set up, looking really, really good out here. Cookie Hawkins not here tonight. We've got Gabe, who's my boy. He just does an awesome job. He had to run up here like 4 times tonight to get things set up because I can't figure out how to push buttons. And then we've got Mikey Lamar jumping in, his first broadcasting experience. Did an awesome job. We hope we get to do some of these again. For all of us at Game On Sports, I'm Will Washington. Check out the varsity team Friday night. And then basketball starts November 11th. So you got to tune into that one. They got a lot of great stuff here on Game On Sports. That'll do it, though, for the 8th grade gold football season. 48-0 is your final. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you next season. Good night, and God bless.